Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another, well, it's not another review. It's my first review. I done picked up a new show. We done picked up a new one. Love and Marriage Detroit. I could not review this one here. Now, I don't watch the other one. What's the other one? DC? Don't watch that one. But I think these folk over here in Detroit gonna give me something to talk about, and so we done added it to the roster. So I hope y'all are tuned in, and if not, tune into the review. It's gonna be just as entertaining. So this is for Love and Marriage Detroit season 1. I'm gonna start with episode 3. I watched episode 1 and 2, so I can briefly do a synopsis, but we here for episode 3. Don't rock the boat. Just to fill in the blanks, we got our 3 couples. We have Latoya and Anthony, Russell and Colby, and Christina and Brandon. Christina and Brandon are kind of the nucleus. They're there. If we're gonna compare this one to Huntsville, they would be our Mel and Martell. Russell and Colby would be our like Kimmy and Maurice, and absolutely Anthony is Marceau. Anthony is the resident chauvinist. Absolutely. And among other things. Christina and Brandon. Brandon is I would say like he's a talent rep. He is into artist development, and I listen. I was happy to hear it because the folk need it real bad. It's obvious that, more people are doing the independent thing anyway, and not even really signing to labels. So, and even if they are, these labels are not putting them through artist development, which they should. They should, because then they wouldn't get up on stage like Summer Walker and just stand there. Or then they ain't just gonna get up there like Ice Spice them and it's so these folk lack stage presence so bad. So bad. It's so bad. Anyway, that's why Tiana Taylor out there, she got to help the girls. She got to help the girls because the girls act like they don't know what to do on the stage. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Now, see, if they had artist development, go down around there with Brandon then, because Brandon say he gonna get you right. He gonna get you right. But he does that. Christina is a fashion designer and influencer. Her niche is fashion, blogging, lifestyle, that sort of thing. Then Russell and Colby. Russell has a nonprofit that is geared towards sports literacy. A need, I guess. I guess that's a need. And probably so. So he does that, and he's also in school, in divinity school. He also has dropped the bomb on his wife that he want to go be a pastor. Okay, we'll get to that later. Colby is also an influencer. I forgot. I want to say she's lifestyle as well. But she's an influencer. And then Anthony and Latoya. Dr. Latoya. Latoya is a physical therapist, and Anthony works for Live Nation. So he's into the production, film and television sort of thing. He wants to create a space in film and television out there in Detroit. Now the cracks in these foundations, let's go there. When it comes to Anthony and Latoya, Anthony basically moved to Atlanta. He was here for 8 months, had a whole house, moved all his shit. In his mind, he went back and forth, and it was for the family. He had to do it. It was a great opportunity. He was doing some work with Disney Marvel. Granted, I get it. Great opportunity. Absolutely. But it was during the pandemic, and you left your wife, who was a doctor. So she was also, a first responder. So she was, in the trenches, not to mention your children who are at school being harassed and bullied and all of that, you know, dealing with racism. And see, that's another thing. This is a sidebar. Y'all gonna stop sending y'all kids to them people's schools thinking that they're gonna be okay. Like, of course they dealing with racism when y'all be sending them to them all white schools. What you thought was gonna happen when they got there? It was gonna just be embraced? Fuck out of here. Stop doing that. There are black ones. Stop doing that. Like, it's like going to a PWI and then be surprised when don't nobody want to be your friend. Don't nobody let you in the organizations, and it's hard to get in that audience with your dean or whatever obstacle or stumbling block you might come to at them schools. And especially if it's gonna involve systemic racism and all of that, you gonna deal with it. And don't be surprised about it. My sister-in-law, she's the type of person that like to take up space in white spaces. And be looking for black people. Where are the black people? Not here, girl. They not here. They not in the white neighborhood. Don't be looking for us over there. You the only one want to be there. You the only one want your kids there. And so, yeah, pull them out. Put them in more diverse environments. And then that won't happen. Just be really, they're dealing with racism at the all-white school. Of course. Duh. You know where they won't deal with that? At an HBCU. You're just going to have to worry about the runaround at financial aid. And everybody listen, it builds character. Anyway, I want to move on from them. But anyway, he went to Atlanta, and he's a chauvinist. He's one of them people, you know, that thinks he's always uplifting the black man. You know, the black man this, the black man that. He want to do the black man trip. He's the leader of like Russell said, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. And you know who's the president? Marceau Scott. We saw him in previews where he gonna be coming around speaking at the She-Man Woman Haters Club. Oh, he's gonna be a lot. And he's one of them niggas that was like, like when you was in high school, them niggas that was like, can I have you? Ain't gonna give me a hug? I can't get a hug. One of them. Ashley Miller said he looked like G-Baby, and now I can't unsee it. Now I can't unsee it. That is G-Baby. He and his wife also have his wife, she has I wouldn't say she has. They have a wine called Opulence, and they're gonna do a tasting. And he said he invited he invited pretty people only, but he gonna be there. You shouldn't darken the door, sir, if it's just pretty people that's supposed to be there. You shouldn't even step foot inside. Brandon and Christina, like I said, there are Martell and Melody, so we got infidelity going on there on Brandon's part. He be signing artists and then getting involved emotionally. We gonna say it was an emotional situation, but come on. We're not dumb. It's giving Stevie J and Jocelyn Hernandez. That's what it's giving. They gonna be the resident. And let me not even go down that road. I hope that that's not what we gonna get out of them, but it's starting out that way. And as it goes for, like I said, Russell and Kobe. Russell want to be a pastor. Kobe says absolutely not. I'm not finna be nobody's first lady. I'm with you on that. I don't want to be, and I've told my husband this, I don't want to be nobody's first lady, so don't come talking about your calling later. I don't want to be nobody's, and by first lady, I mean first lady of these United States or anything like that. My husband has ties and dealings in the political world, and he could very well one day come up to me and be like, I think I want to run for senator. And what I'm going to do? We talk about it all the time because I don't want him to blindside me with I want to run for Senate. Because I'm going to be sitting here like, how am I supposed to go to the weed man as the senator's wife? And he was like, well, you'd have somebody bringing it to you by that point. No. Because what if people see me getting weed? what if people see, you know what you could do? Bring on some legislation to where we ain't got to worry about that out here in Atlanta. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. That's just a bit of my tea. But I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm with you, Kobe. I'm with you. And he didn't even talk to her about it. He talked to her dad, but he didn't talk to her. And he want to go be a whole pastor. Well, he said pastor, a deacon, something like that, minister. You know. Then now it's chaplain. He want to be a pastor, Kobe. Don't let him play you. He telling you the aspiration isn't pastor, but it is. It is. Okay, I think I've given enough backstory. Let's move on to episode 3. Don't rock the boat. So Anthony is still in bitch mode, talking to this lady like she's a child. You know, he was at the wine tasting, calling that lady a bird because she asked him a question. I mean, he completely lashed out, full queen mode. And I'm not gonna say he gay or nothing like that, or like he's closeted, because I've seen that narrative float around. And I'm not one of those women that's finna use sexuality like to weaponize it in any way. But he absolutely queened out. He absolutely did. He absolutely, leaned into his feminine side. Anyway, Bravo, chimes in and speaks for him, you know what I'm saying? That it's just like, it's like we see our brother being held back. And that was another thing that bothered me. I wish my husband's friends would. I wish the fuck they would. Don't nobody got his best interest at heart more than I got his best interest at heart. So don't sit up in my face and tell me I'm holding him back. Like y'all want more for him than I want for him. That's my husband. And you're absolutely overstepping. You're out of line. I need you to just, please. It really goes left. Brandon talking about she got him shackled and all of that. Please, you and them niggas, all y'all can go ride off in the sunset. Do you? Because it's obvious. You love them more than you love me. Like that's that bromance thing. Like, why are you even talking to me about this? Because what it shows me is that my husband just been sitting around there complaining to y'all and y'all bringing it to me. No. Absolutely not. Christina, she flips it. What about my career? What about my career? What about the stuff I've sacrificed? I put my whole career down. I ain't designed and then took a 7-year break from what I do to cater to and care for, you and nurture our children. That's what I've been doing. What you been doing? Besides trying to be at the club. She was like, now one time have we talked about what I left behind, what I sacrificed? We ain't talking about that. LaToya, again, she ain't stop her husband from saying nothing, but now she embarrassed, now, but she ain't saying nothing. She embarrassed, but she ain't saying a word. Anthony, he get up. Now you want to be the peacemaker. Come on, guys, let's not do it like this. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Trying to address Christina now with some kid gloves, with a little bit of care. But of course she done talking. She yelling, cussing, crying. Well, maybe not cussing. Because I feel like these people really saved for real. Or at least, they're going to portray that because they PKs, like they ain't gonna cuss on TV. Because she over here like, that's bull junk. Girl, bullshit. That's bull junk. Anyway, the whole room knows about their marital problems. They end up leaving. They walk back home to their penthouse, carrying on the conversation. He asking her if he has her support. She says, of course she's supportive. She just don't like him in the club. Brandon asks, do you really want to be with me? I know you down. I know you big on the sanctity of marriage and all that. But do you want to be with me? And she says, of course. I wouldn't be dealing with all of this, going through all of this if I didn't. He says, why? And she said, why what? Why you want to be with me? Why do I want to be married to my husband? Like, what? He say he just gonna take a walk, give her the keys to the house, and go on by his business. Latoya and Anthony, they talk. Again, like I said, she's embarrassed. She never wants to do this again. You know, she's like, my potential clients was there. I mean, potential customers were there. I know that left a bad taste in their mouth. Anthony feels like Brandon should be investing in his wife. You know, now he team Christina. He should be investing in her. You know, when it was you, with opulence, I put the money up. Latoya like, no, now wait a minute. You put up a little bit. Don't do that. Don't make it seem like you funded my life. Like you funded my dreams. Cause you ain't do all that. You helped a little bit, you wrote a check. And in his confessional, he gonna say, I wrote he doubles down on the fact that he wrote a big check that basically got opulence off the ground. And she just laughed and let him have it. Back in the car, though, she's scolding him, of course, for getting into it with that girl, and getting in them people business. And he's like, oh, I know you about your image and all of that. She says it's not about image. It's a time and a place for everything. And that wasn't the time or the place. And I will not be doing this again. Every single time we get up, it's got to be this. And we're not doing this. I ain't signing up for that. She not doing that. Y'all not about to have her good name sullied out here. Kobe's parents dropped by. Y'all, they was making bacon. And I said, is this turkey bacon? That bacon did not look done. I noticed that type of stuff. But the bacon wasn't done and I was feeling away. Don't you serve your mom and daddy that raw bacon. Russell get home. He won't be staying. He's taking the baby girl. I think they said her name was Kendall. I think her name is Kendall. He's taking her out. Daddy-daughter day. So Kobe gets right to the point. Russell say he going to divinity school. I don't really like that. She shares her frustrations with it. Mama, she with the shits. Mama is whatever my husband says. The man of the house. It's our duty as a wife. The Bible says. That's mama. That's mama. Because when she say, I don't appreciate, he ain't tell me. Mama say, well, this is about his relationship. This is about his relationship with God. Not his relationship with you. And so when they hear from God, they're gonna just move. They're just gonna move the way God tells them to move. It's about being obedient to God. It's not about leaving you out. And Kobe's sitting up there looking like, you still brainwashed, I see. You still feel like you just got to follow this man blindly. Anyway. Daddy, of course, is Team Russell as well. He tells her you should be thinking about how Russell feels about this. When we hear from God, we have to do what the Lord is saying we need to be doing. We think about how hard it must have been for him to come to you with this, which is probably why he didn't say nothing to you. Think about how hard it might have been to come to you about this. She's honest. I done seen what y'all went through, and I done told him I ain't dealing with that. Mama was basically looking like, oh, so we weren't the perfect example? No, you weren't. I was glad Kobe stood in that. I'm glad she didn't get around her parents and act like she's okay with it when she's not. She does not want to be first lady. She doesn't. And she's not moving and bending on that. I don't think she should. I think that that's a conversation that they've already had, and then here he goes. Like, if you are trying to build your relationship with God and you want to get closer, there are ways. You don't have to go be a pastor to do that. Like, you don't have to put yourself through divinity school because you say you want to read more scripture. Just open up your Bible and read more scripture. Spend more time in your prayer closet. Spend more time going to church. Get involved in the church. But you don't have to go be the pastor. So many daggone pastors that don't need to be pastors. I know quite a few, honestly. I know quite a few people who after college, now they pastors. And I just be like, oh. Anyway. Anyway. I'm move on from that because I mean the consensus was let that man go be a pastor. Because he said, because he gonna tell her daddy, say part of you as a wife, you should consider you should consider how hard it must have been for him to talk to you about that. Kobe just look at him. Her facial expression looked like she was in her head. Like this some bullshit. But okay. Anyway, Anthony, he's working and he calls Brandon. Brandon say he been on Do Not Disturb. He ain't talked to Christina. He say it's F everybody at this point. He ain't talked to Christina or seen her since he took his walk. He took his walk and didn't even come back home that night. He been staying at their other house. Anthony gives him this host, and Anthony gave good advice. He gave good sound advice. The grass ain't greener. You already know what me and my wife went through, and so it will behoove you to go get your wife. Go make it right with your wife. Go get it. Go and get it right. It's got to be Team Smith. He's like, listen, look at me. I sacrificed working with Disney Marvel for my family. So you got to be on the same page. You have to be on one accord. And he gave, like I said, he gave good sound advice. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I don't know if this is going to be a reoccurrence, but this time I'm with you. Christina, she's in her closet with her friend Chelsea. Her friend needs her to design a dress for her that she's doing some event or going to some event, something like that. And Christina, gonna take her measurements and all of that. So while they're talking, they talk about the wine tasting. And she shares that Brandon didn't come home that night. She tells her, I've always been the woman that's gonna fight for her man, fight for her marriage. I'm gonna do all that I can. But if he's at a place where he doesn't want this anymore and he doesn't want me, like I can't fight him on that. She'll let him go. Anthony and LaToya, they have date night. And I say, well, they must have came from the church house or something, because they look like they had just got out of church in a full suit. Anyway, Anthony shares, I'm going to have to go back to Atlanta. I know you don't like that. And she's like, wait, back up. You can stop saying that, because I don't have no qualms with Atlanta. It's the fact that you wanted to leave your family for Atlanta. That's what the issues were. Like, don't make it seem like I got issues with you being in Atlanta or anything like that. Like, stop that. That's annoying. That's getting annoying. He says that he was going back and forth. Toya says that he packed his stuff and had a house. You left. Like I said, she says that the kids dealt with racism and she just was not equipped. She didn't have the capacity to deal with that, to guide her children through that. They have boys. And so he needed to be there for that. He felt like he could have done all he did from Atlanta, because, they worked it out. They were able to go deal with that or I guess heal through it, I guess I should say. But he feels like he could have done that from Atlanta. No, you cannot. You cannot. Anthony says that it wasn't fair. It's not fair that Dr. LaToya, he's always doing the calling. It's condescending. He's being condescending every time he says it, because he's jealous of her success. He's jealous that she's amassed this much success, and now he feels like, what about me? Why isn't nobody clapping for me? Yeah, okay, she's Dr. LaToya now, but look at me. Old pick-me-ass nigga. Anyway, he talking about some, when you wanted to chase your dreams, I was 10 toes down and I was in it. And I don't get that. He doesn't get that in return, because he's the man of the family. He can't really voice that. He can't really say, hey, what about me? Because he's the man. And in actuality, you are exactly right, because don't no woman want to sit up and hear her husband complain about the shit you should be doing anyway. You don't hear moms sitting around like, You didn't clap for me when I got the kids up ready for school by myself and cooked breakfast and then cleaned the house when I got back and folded all the laundry and then came and reorganized the closets and the refrigerator, wiped down the stove, wiped down the wiped down the inside of the refrigerator, the inside of the stove, cleaned the microwave, came back up here, vacuum. You didn't say good job. That's not fair. Do you hear how dumb that sounds? As a mom, you just got all these responsibilities and they are thankless jobs. Okay, sometimes, daddy, you gonna get thankless job. You know, you're gonna have a thankless job. You're not always gonna get the thank you. You're not always gonna get the old attaboy. Like, stop being in competition with your wife, because that's essentially what this is. He is in competition with her. This is the reason for these male chauvinistic groups and guys trips that he want to go on so that they can gas each other up. Cause he feeling away and feeling inferior in his household. So let me go be around a bunch of men so I can be macho and manly. Make me feel like I'm a man if I'm around a bunch of other men. It's like he pretending to be an alpha man, because he is not. He is absolutely not. It's giving beta all over it. But he want to be an alpha man, you know, so he surrounds himself with other alpha men. Maybe he'll appear that way. No, not when you boohoo crying on the boat because won't nobody say good job, Anthony. Anyway, Russell and Kobe, they go and do an activity together. It's an obstacle course. Afterwards, they sit down and they talk about her conversation with her parents. She says that her dad telling her to consider Russell's feelings and thought process behind all of this opened her eyes. You know, she didn't consider how hard it must have been to come to her. And so now that she's taking that in consideration, I guess she gets it. Still don't want to be nobody's first lady. She's still driving that point home. Russell, he says that he's just going to he's going to be a chaplain. He wants to just be a chaplain for the Marines. And she says that that's fine. You know, the commitment level is not the same. It's different for a pastor. So she can deal with that. Let's just start here. Let's just start here. Like I said, he want to be a pastor because he gonna try to. But if God says that I should go further, don't start trying to manipulate me with scripture and jargon. Don't do, because it's manipulation. That is exactly what it is. When I give you my answer, when you say to me, when I say to you, pastor, no, because I'm not called to be nobody's first lady. And so we're not equally yoked on this. And so no, it's confusion. No. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You say that you're gonna just be a chaplain, but it's obvious he wants to be a pastor. And then when I've made my concrete decision, then you want to come and sway me with, but if God says, you know, because the Bible says, and you know, as a wife, you trying to manipulate me to get what you want. No. Nah, Russell. Trying to give her a little throw a little sermon in there, you know, to manipulate her again. Anyway, Anthony and Latoya, they go out on a boat with another couple. This couple is an older couple. They are the godparents to their children, so they look up to them. And you know, they talk about Anthony, of course, going to Atlanta. She's like, did you know he was gonna try to leave us and go to Atlanta? Friend, like, he wasn't trying to leave you. Just trying to make some money moves. That's all. He wasn't trying to leave you. Anthony says he wants to tell Detroit stories. You know, there aren't many film opportunities in Detroit, and so he wants to bring them to Detroit. He wants to tell Detroit stories with Detroit people. And that's fine. You know, I'm here for that. Toya said she says that he left again. I don't know if she was saying after he came back, he ended up leaving again, or like recently he was back in Atlanta. I don't know, but he doesn't completely download her with all the details, and he don't feel like it's necessary. It is. You're not just gonna leave out pertinent information just because you feel like You don't need to tell me all that. You do. I want to know how long you going to be there. I want to know who all over there. And I want to know when you coming back. That's what I want to know. Anthony gonna bring up the forefathers. Talking about, y'all remember, after Jim Crow and all of that, during all of that, when black folks said, we gonna just leave the South. They ain't really doing this. Like, they ain't dealing with all of that up there in the North. And so we gonna all migrate to the North. My grandmother, her parents were included in that. My grandmother moved from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Springfield, Massachusetts, and that is where they stayed. That is where they stayed. But her people are from Fort Lauderdale. But they had to leave, they had to get out of the South. And he gonna compare that to him leaving and having this opportunity in Atlanta and not passing it up for the sake of family. Like your father, your grandfathers, your great-great-grandfathers, they had to leave their families and they came all the way out here to Detroit so that your family could start over, so that you could have a better life, so that you could have better opportunities. They sacrificed for the family. She looking at him like, yeah, okay. That ain't even the same thing. Leaving racism and Jim Crow and being hanged and folks throwing fire through your window, burning crosses in your lawn, leaving that for peace of mind and safety for your family, that's different than you just deciding, it's better opportunities in Atlanta. I'm going to go to Atlanta. You ain't got to. Your wife a whole doctor. Them people had to leave. And it's disrespectful for you to even compare the two. Cue Anthony. Anyway, LaToya, she thinks that he resents her, for the fact that he left or whatever, or that he came back. And he can say he's not, but he is. Anthony started crying, y'all, because apparently her whole family was against him leaving, and her dad got into it, and he don't have family, so feeling like the family was against him. It was them against him, it was just too much for him. I need your sisters. I need y'all. I need my village. I need y'all. Why ain't nobody here for me? It's just sometimes I want y'all to say, good job, Anthony. It's just sometimes I want y'all to hype me up. What about me? What about me? And LaToya's sitting there looking at him like, I wish you man the fuck up. Man up. Say it with your chest and stop crying. Really crying because you don't get attaboy? That's what you're crying for real. I want people to have my back. Anyway, Anthony, please. Anthony, please. Until next time, because that's where we end, with him crying on that boat. I'd be so ashamed if I was LaToya, because you are embarrassing me. You are embarrassing me. Oh, you so macho. Oh, the man this, the man that. The man should assert himself. The man got to stand up for himself. The man this, the man that. And you boo-hooing over attaboys and accolades. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.